Hello. Just for the three of you so far, there are 2 questions that are up on the board for you to get going on. Please feel free to ask me questions if you're needing. If you need help, you're welcome to message or just ask away. But there are 2 questions up on the board. The first one you're looking for X and the second one you're looking for M and P. And if you give your answers in the chat, don't forget to give me your reasons with your answers. And good luck. Okay, guys, as soon as you start getting answers, please feel free to put them in the chat. Doesn't matter if they're right or wrong. I never am upset if you make mistakes. Just want to see what you're doing, where things are going right, and try work through these questions. This is kind of going on our last lesson that we had on Monday. So all of our different triangle rules and some other sneaky ones in the middle. Welcome to those of you who've just joined. We're just waiting for everyone else to get here. And while we do that, there are 2 questions up on the board for you to try. In the first one, you're finding X, and then the second one, you're finding M and P. Okay, and it is 5. All right, so I'm going to give you literally 2 more minutes to look at these questions, just for those of you who have just joined, so that you actually have a chance to try. The first one you're looking for X, and the second one you're looking for M, and you're looking for P. If you're feeling good with your answers, please let me know what your answers are, or put them in the chat for me. Working on the rules we learned on Monday. And then we're going to go through these together. And we're going to do one more triangle question together. And then we're going to learn about our new topic today, which is called congruency. I'm going to type that in the chat so you can all see what it looks like. Congruency, like that. Has anyone done congruency in class already? Let me know. Thumbs up or a...
Ma'am.
Yes.
I think my school's actually way ahead of this program by like 2 weeks.
Oh my goodness. So everything we're doing, you've done 2 weeks before.
Yes.
Isn't that great though? Because it kind of like is
Yes.
cementing it into your head.
Yes.
Awesome.
I've written a test on these triangles actually.
And how did it go?
It was actually not that bad.
Yes. You see, geometry is our friend.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, so Nawazi, Shamal, both of you have done congruency. Awesome. And hello. Okay. Let's, oh, sorry, I promised 2 minutes. Let me give you 1 more minute on these questions and then we're gonna tackle them. No takers for an answer for X. Will it make you feel better if I tell you X is a decimal? Do people feel more confident to put their answers in now? Let's see. Okay. All right, I'm video offing and I will see you in an hour-ish. Let's get going. So for the first one, we are looking at a triangle. And so I'm looking at the sum, all of those angles in that triangle, and I know that they have to equal 180 degrees. So I'm going to say this angle here, so 2x minus 15. Ah, Canva, look at you. Plus this angle here, 3x plus 10, plus this angle here, which is x plus 20. All of that needs to equal 180 degrees, and our reason is sum of angles in a triangle. Okay, and then I'm going to add all my x's together. So 2x plus 3x is 5x, plus another x is 6x. Negative 15 plus 10 is negative 5. Negative 5 plus 20 is 15. And so we land up with this equation. I'm going to move that 15 over. So 6x is equal to 118 minus 15, which is equal to 165. And then I'm going to divide both sides by 6, and I get an answer of 27.5 degrees. And that is my first question. Okay. Glorious. Oh, I took you to graph theory and matrices. You were about to do some AP maths. Okay, let's have a look at our second triangle. So our second triangle, we're looking for M and we are looking for P. Let me just shrink this a little bit so those of you who are working on there can still see it. Now, you could have done this in a whole bunch of different ways. I would have probably started, but remember, like I've been saying, geometry is all about what you see. Okay, so I would have seen this exterior angle of the triangle. So that 100 has to equal P plus 25. So I would say P plus 25 is equal to 100 because of exterior angle of triangle, which means P is going to be 75 degrees. Now I know this is 75. And then you could have done sum of angles in a triangle if you wanted to, or you could have looked at the straight line over here and said, well, M plus 100 needs to equal 180 because of angles on a straight line, which means M would be 80 degrees. And so we've got our value for P, M, and X. Okay. Okay, this question is just for the people who are watching via the live stream. If you could please just use the emoji of the little thumbs up and send that through so that it comes through, but only for the people who are on the live stream. So if you're watching, just send a thumbs up. Okay. Okay, guys, on to our next question. All right, next question. Well, let me first ask, does anyone need to sit here? Okay.
Yes, ma'am, please.
Sure, no problem.
I'm done, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for letting me know. That's okay. You can catch up from where we're going on now. Okay, in this triangle, I'm wanting the value of x. And again, there are lots of different ways that you can go about it. But I'd love you all to try and let's see if you can give me the value of x. You can either let me know, so you can talk to me, or you can put it in the chat. This will be our last triangle question for today. And then we're going to move on to congruency. That's okay. Thanks for letting me know. Sorry, guys. When you give me your answers, don't forget to write your reasons. So if you've done it in 2 steps, then I need to know the reasons for both steps. And if you've done it in 1 step, you can just give me the 1 reason. So I'm kind of giving you a hint by telling you that. You can do this 2 ways, or you can do it in 1 way. Okay, so Canva, I like that reason, but that would have had to be the 2nd step. So you would have had to do something first if you're using that reason. Oh, Daphne coming in, saving the day. Look at you. Okay. If we wanted to do it in 1 step, we're going to do exactly what Daphne has done over there. We're going to look at this triangle, and we're going to say that x is the exterior angle. And so I can add those 2 together, and I would get 113 degrees. Canva, exactly. Well done. Good. Okay. So the first, we're going to write our 2 different options here. Either we could say x is equal to 113 degrees because of exterior angles of a triangle. That would be option 1. Option 2, we could have first said that this angle here is 67 degrees. So we could have said EGF is 67 degrees because of sum of angles in a triangle. Therefore, x is 113 degrees because of angles on a straight line. So those would have been our 2 options for this question. So we could either have done this one and done it in 1 line, or we could have done it in 2 lines. And remember, it just depends on what your brain sees. So what you see first, that's what you should do. The most important thing is that your reasons are in the right place with the right angles. Okay. Cool. Let's move on to some congruency. So let's have a look. Nolwazi, you have said you have done congruency. Can you explain to us very, very briefly, so like even one sentence, what does it mean for things to be congruent? What does it mean? What does the word congruent mean? Are you typing for me? Let's have a look. Okay. I'll give you all the time you need. While we are waiting for Nolwazi's answer that's coming through, this is just another message for those of you who are on the live stream. If you didn't hear me say this about 7 minutes ago, then I'm talking to you. Please, can you just give the emoji of the thumbs up just to let us know that you're watching? Only do it if you haven't already done it, okay? Thanks, guys. Nolwazi, are you writing us an essay here? Those of you giving the thumbs up, you're with me. You're in the lesson. You don't need to give thumbs up. Don't panic. It's just for the people who are watching in the live stream. But thank you for your enthusiasm. Yes, beautiful. That is excellent. So congruency is when the shape has exactly the same size. So it's basically like I have an exact copy of something. If I have a square that looks exactly like this, and I drew another square and they were like exact twins, I could say that these two are congruent to each other. So congruency is when I have two shapes that are exactly the same as each other in every single way. So they are an identical copy of each other. That means they have the same sides. So if this was 2 and this was 2 and this was 2 and this was 2, then this also has to be 2, that has to be 2, that has to be 2. All of the angles have to be the same. If those were all 90 degrees, these would all have to be 90 degrees. And so those two shapes have to be exactly the same in every single way. Okay, so let's have a look at some more congruency. So these two shapes here, well, two pairs of shapes. If we look at this first box, we're looking at these two triangles. So we're looking at ABC and EDF. And let's see how we know that these are congruent. I'm telling you that they are, but now let's assess how we know that they are. This line here has got 3 of these little lines, which is telling us it's exactly the same as that line with also the 3 little lines. This line here has just got 1 line, and that's exactly the same as EF, which just has got 1 line. This bottom line, so that was not really a line, I'm drawing a squiggle for you. AB has got 2 lines, which is telling us it's the same as ED with 2 lines. Okay, so we know that their sides are exactly the same as each other. And then on the inside, the C is 50 degrees and F is 50 degrees. So they're the same as each other. A is 55 degrees, D is 55 degrees, and B is 75 degrees, and E is 75 degrees. So these shapes, I know that they are identical because their sides are the same as each other and their angles are the same as each other. So they are identical in every possible way. That's how we know when things are congruent. And the notion we use for congruency are these three horizontal lines. So to make them, yes, SSS is a type of form of congruency. We're going to talk about that just now. It's exactly what it is. So for those of you who don't know, when we get there, it's just meaning that all three sides are the same as each other. So congruency, just a little bit bigger, is just like your equal sign when we say things are equal to each other. So we know that they're the same, but because we can't use our equal sign, because then we're saying they're equal, not congruent, we put a third line and say that they are congruent. That's how we know congruency. So I can say, blah, 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 this shape is congruent to blah, 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 this shape. Now, if we're looking at how that sentence would look, if I'm looking at these two true triangles that we're dealing with in this big square, just above my squiggles. And you had it in the test. I wish that we had had this lesson before that test, but now we'll know for the next test. Okay, so this is how I would write that these two triangles are congruent to each other. So remember this symbol in the middle, that's our congruency symbol. And then we have to think about which angles are the same as each other, and we need to write them in that order. Okay, so if I'm looking at this triangle, we already knew that angle A was the same as angle D. And do you see how they are in the same position as each other? So angle A is first and angle D is first. So that's really important. We always need to put the same angles, the ones that are congruent to each other, need to be in the same order. So wherever the 55 is, if it's first, second, or third, we have to make sure it's in the same place as the second triangle. Now, for those of you who haven't done congruency and are probably thinking I'm talking to you in another language, please don't panic. We're going to practice all of this now, and it's going to be very solidly in your head by the end of this lesson. Okay, so I'm going to talk you through this question, and then I'm going to let you do the next one. All I want you to do here is the whole purpose of this exercise is to practice writing these triangles in the correct order. Okay, so if I'm saying triangle ABC, triangle ABC is congruent, now I need to think of which angle is the same as A. So the same one was F. So triangle F. Now I need to see, well, now I had B next. So what's my B? Is T. Look at your next triangle again with AT, which was C, H. Okay, that's later. We're going to add some stuff onto the sentence, but all I want you to do at the moment is get into this habit of writing this in like a beautiful order and getting them in the correct space. Now, if you're wanting to give me your answers in the chat, I know that drawing the congruency sign might be a bit tricky. So either you can, for the moment, although this is not correct, so just be careful. For the moment, just for ease, if you want to write the equal sign, that's okay. Or you could write congruent so that I know you're talking about congruency, just to make it easier for you when you're typing. Okay, and you don't need to worry about your triangles if you're giving me the answer in the chat. So, it's your time to shine. Can you please try B for me? I want you to write the sentence like I've written up there in that box. And then you can give me your answers. Okay. I've got a direct message coming in. So let's have a look. Oh, and we have some others. Look at these answers. Nice job, guys. Okay, so we've got 2 different answers coming through. So now we need to go through this carefully so you can see if you're on the right ones or if you're on the wrong ones. Let's see. So we've got Team TPS and we've got Team TSB. Let's see which one of you is right. Oh, look at that fancy triangle, Tiamo. That's lovely. Okay, so let's see which team you're on and if you're on the winning team or not. Let's start with triangle ABC. Triangle ABC is this guy. We're starting with A, congruent to triangle. Now A has got 3 lines. And so we're looking for the 3 lines here, which is our T. Now both of your teams had T first, which is great. Okay. Next we have B, which is our 90-degree angle. And so that's P. So the P is correct. And then we have 2 lines for C, which is S, which is 2 lines. So if you are on team TPS, then well done. You have just won an anonymous prize of being right. Well done. TSB, you have not won, but you have learned from a mistake, and that's just as valuable. Okay, so well done to those of you who got that. That's most of you. Nice job. Good work. Okay. Try another one. Try A for me. Let's try everyone to get this one right. Look at them carefully before you write anything. And you can choose how you want to start your first triangle. So you don't have to do it alphabetically. You could say MPN, you could say NMP. Doesn't matter. Whichever way you want to write it is fine with me. Oh, okay, Kensani's got his first answer happening over here. Let's have a look. I'm not going to say whether you're right or wrong, though. You have to wait. Oh, and we have a different answer. Okay, let's have a look. So, triangle. I'm going to go with NPM only because that's what most of you have done. So I think it'll be easier for you to know whether you're right or wrong. N is 64, and that's the same as the 64, which is R. P is 72, which is the same as Q. So we're going to write Q next. And then our last one is M, which is 44, and that's going to be T. So if your answer was NMP is congruent to triangle RQT, then you are 100% right. Now, what I want you to be careful with, because some of you have actually gotten this right, you've just written in a different order. So I don't want you to look at my answer and think, oh, I've gotten this wrong. Okay, just remember that as long as your N is in the same place as your R, and your P is in the same place as your Q, and your M is in the same place as your T, then it's fine. So what I mean by that is I could also have written PMN is congruent. Now P is now first. So look where your P was. To Q. And then I wrote M next. And so I need to write T and then R. So both of those are right. I've just written them in a different order. The most important thing is that the same letters are linked. So that P and Q are linked together. In the first one, they're just in the first position, and in the second one, they're in the second. Okay. All right. Let's try B. For those of you who are finding this easy, enjoy it while it lasts. But it's really important that we understand these basics before we get more complicated. Okay. We have our first answer coming in. Yeah, but you know why? It's because we haven't gotten into the more complicated stuff yet. So don't feel too bad. We will get there. Okay, let's have a look at some of these answers. So lots of you are writing them in different orders. So just remember to double check that your orders are the same when you're working through it. Okay. So triangle LPR, that's how I'm going to do mine, is congruent to, now L needs to be the same as T. So as long as your L and your T are linked in whatever position they are in, then that's great. Then I have P, which is 36. So I need to write M. Make sure your P and your M are linked. And then R is last, which is 44. And that's my B. And they need to be linked as well. Okay. As long as you're in the same position, then that's fine. So for example, I'm seeing, no. Let's have a look. Maybe you're not though. Let me have a look. What was your answer? Okay, so you had, sorry guys, I'm just scrolling up for a second. Just want to check on someone's answer. Okay. Oh, okay. I see what's happening. I think you're just mixing up the triangles. I think that's what's going on, because you're taking some of the first triangle and then you're also adding some of the first triangle. So, because you actually, what you saw here, which was really good, was you saw that that P and the M needed to be linked to each other. And then these guys, you just started taking back from the left triangle. So just make sure that you're working with the right triangles. You're not actually doing something wrong. You're just looking at the wrong triangles. Don't be hard on yourself. Okay, so let's have a look at C. This is the last one we're going to do like this, and then we're going to take it up a notch. So focus super hard. Your first triangle, you're looking at this triangle. Your second triangle, you're looking at that one. All right, let me give you a little bit more time so everyone gets a chance, and then let's go through this one. Okay, so now I'm going to go with triangle ABC. Is congruent. My A needs to be 120. Don't apologize, that's okay. You just need to ask and I'll always try and fit it in for you. Okay, 120 needs to be the same as L, so triangle L. Then I have B, which is 20, so I want K, which is 20, and then I have C, which is 40, and so I want M, which is 40. How did we do in this one? Okay, so let's write it a different way. For those of you who are worried you've done it wrong, if I wrote CAB, then I would have written MLK. And if I wrote BAC, then I would have written KLM. Okay. So whichever one of those you wrote is great. And if you're worried that yours is wrong, just let me know and I'm happy to go through it. But it's looking like these answers that have come in are great, which is beautiful. Okay, does anyone need to sit on these 3 questions any longer? Just let me know before we move down. Cool. Great. Then let's go. So now we're going to add to this. So we're going to just take it up a notch. You're doing so well, guys. I'm really proud of you. So the first thing was just understanding what congruency is. And now this was something that I think it was Offense who said it earlier. I'm sorry if I've said the wrong name now, but proving congruency is when we're trying to prove that these two triangles are congruent to each other. So we haven't been told that they are congruent, we have to prove it. And when we're proving congruency, I'm going to zoom out so you can see all of them, and then I'll zoom in as we talk through them. And my numbers have gone all crazy because this should be case 5. Okay, what we have is we've got our first option, which is SSS, which is side, side, side. And we're going to talk about them in more detail. So don't, I was right. Great. Okay, case 2 is side, angle, side. Case 3 is side, angle, angle. And then the last one is right angle, hypotenuse, side. And if we can prove that these things are true, we can prove two triangles are congruent to each other. So these are our different ways of proving congruency. So let's go through them slowly, step by step. In this case, we can see that AB is exactly the same as PQ. Okay, we can also see that AC is the same as PR, and we can see that BC is the same as QR. And because all three sides are the same as each other, we could say that because of that, triangle ABC is congruent to triangle. Now we have to try and follow our colors here. So we started at A, and then we went along purple to B. So we're going to start at P, and we're going along purple to Q. And then we're left with R. Oh, I wrote an equal sign. So we would say these two triangles are congruent to each other, and then we would give a reason. Because remember, in geometry, we love reasons. And our reason here is side, side, side. So when you see these 3 S's, what that means is side, side, side. You're saying all 3 sides are the same as each other. Okay, so that's our first way of proving congruency. And we're going to try and prove these a bit later, so don't panic, we will get there. Case 2 is side, angle, side. So we have AC, which is the same as PR. And then we've got this angle, which is the same. So angle C is the same as angle R. And then again, we've got BC, which is equal to RQ. Now, the important thing with this reason is we write it as SAS because that angle that's the same in both has to be in the middle. So it has to be sandwiched between the 2 sides that are the same as each other. If it's not in the middle, we're not allowed to use this reason. So again, here, if I was trying to say which ones are congruent, I would say triangle A, let's go to C, and then B. That would be congruent to triangle P, R, Q, and our reason would be side, angle, side. Okay, so that's our second proof. Don't panic about these just yet. We will talk about them and we will do the proofs. Third one, side, angle, angle. Now these angles have to be corresponding to each other. What I mean is this angle is like at the base of line AC, and that line is the same at the base of PR. So when I'm saying corresponding, it means they're in the same position, even though they're in 2 different triangles. That's what corresponding is telling us. Okay, so we have, let me retrace this. So we've got this side, which is equal to that side. And then we have our first corresponding angle, which is C and R. And our second corresponding angle, which is B and Q. And we know it's in the same place because it's opposite AC and this is opposite PR. So they're in the same place as each other. So here I could say triangle ACB. Is congruent to triangle PRQ. And my reason would be side, angle, angle. Okay, cool. Next, we are going to look at the last one, which is RHS. Let me quickly fix this. being rude to us. Let's get rid of it. Saying it. It was me. It was me being silly. Oh, why am I saying case 3? Ah! Okay, so for right angle hypotenuse side, that's what this is standing for. So the R is saying right, the H is saying hypotenuse. Okay, and hypotenuse, for those of you who don't remember, is the side opposite to the right angle, or the longest side in a right angle triangle. That's what our hypotenuse is. Okay, so this dude here would be our hypotenuse, and this dude here would be our hypotenuse. And then the S stands for side. So that's what this reason is saying. So let's have a look. We've got this right angle and this right angle, so they're the same as each other. Then we've got our hypotenuses, which we know are the same as each other, and we have our sides, which are the same as each other. So here I could say triangle ACB is congruent to triangle PRQ because of right angle hypotenuse side. Okay, now that you know these, we're going to start using them. So we're going to do our first proof. And we're going to have a look at a triangle and see how to do it. I'm obviously going to help you with the first one. Or see, has your hand up because you're needing me to sit here?
Ma'am, I just have a question.
Yeah, sure. Hit me.
Let me just check real quick for okay, yeah. For the theme, for the congruency, like when we write the ACB and PRQ.
Yeah.
Ma'am, if you get one letter wrong, is the whole thing?
It depends on what type of question it is. If they were asking you to just say which triangles are congruent and you get one of the letters wrong, then yeah, then you wouldn't get the mark at all. But if it was part of a bigger question, like the ones we're going to do now, you would only lose 1 mark.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. But I can't recommend enough to use highlighters or colored pencils or anything in these types of questions, because if you get the sides wrong, it really messes up things for you. Like, it's difficult to see which ones are the same from that point.
All right, ma'am.
Okay.
Thank you.
Sure. Okay, so let's look at our first example over here. So now this one, we don't need to do a proof just yet. I just want you to tell me I want you to be able to write the congruent triangles, and I want you to tell me which reason to use. I'm just going to write our reasons up here at the top just to help you for the beginning. We have SAS, we have SSS, we have SAA, like the airlines, okay? So we have SAS, we've got S, and we've got SAA, and then we've got RHS. Okay, so for this first one, I want you to tell me which to write the triangles. Sure, I can scroll up. I hope that's enough. Might make it a little bit small, but just do your best. Oh, to the right angle. Okay, great. That makes it a bit easier for me. Okay, so I want you to tell me which 2 triangles, write them in the correct order, and then tell me which one of those reasons we would use to say that they are congruent. Okay, we have our first answer coming in. Okay, so just be careful with the answer that's just come in now. We don't know that this side and this side are the same as each other because they haven't told us. So we don't know. There we go. We've got some sass coming in because AB is the same as TP. That's a side, okay? And we can see that AC is the same as TM. That's another side. And then they've told us that angle A is the same as angle T, which is an angle. And so we could say triangle ABC is congruent to triangle TPM because of SAS, side, angle, side. So we're looking at which one of those things is there. Okay. All right, have a look at B for me. Tell me which 2, tell me the congruency and then tell me the reason.
Ma'am?
Yeah.
May you please explain what we are supposed to do, because my router switched off while you were explaining.
Oh, sure, no problem. So all I'm asking you to do here is to write the sentence of which two triangles are congruent to each other. So make sure you get the order right, and then which reason it is. So either it's side, angle, side. So like that was how it was in this first question, or side, 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 if they've given you all three sides, side, angle, angle, if they've given you one side and two angles, or RHS, if they've given you a right angle, a hypotenuse, and a side.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay, no problem. See, is your hand up from before, or is it a new hand?
An older hand, ma'am.
Okay, no problem. Okay, there we go. We got some answers coming in. Great. Okay, so if you have a look here, we haven't got any angles. So we know it can't be this one or this one or this one, because all of those would have had angles. And we can see that there are three sides that are the same as each other. So this is going to be a side, side, side situation. So triangle ABC is congruent to triangle. Now we need to try and follow. So B, I went the 2. So I'm going to go to P. And then S. And my reason would be side, side, side. Okay. Good. Okay. C and D. While you're feeling brave. Just going to write these reasons out again for those of you who are needing them. Side, angle, side. Side, side, side. Right angle, hypotenuse, side. Side, angle, angle. Yes, guys, well done. Now we're starting to see the patterns. Okay, so here in C, angle C is the same as angle S, and angle B is the same as angle N, and then line AB is the same as line DN. So we've got side angle angle. So I can say triangle ABC is congruent to triangle DNS, and my reason is side angle angle. Great. Beautiful answers, guys. Well done. Okay. Last two. And then let's do a proof. And we'll start off our lesson next week, Monday, doing another proof. Okay, 4 reasons are on the right-hand side at the top. So try and look at those and see which ones this could be. Ooh, you guys have fallen for my trap. Except Adora. Adora didn't fall for my trap. Well done. Okay, so those of you who fell for this, yes, go you. Okay, those of you who fell for the SAS trap, this is not SAS because my angle is not in between my two lines. So it's not sassy. Okay, the thing that we need to be seeing here and we need to think about, because this is one that they love tricking you on, is that we have a right angle, we have a hypotenuse, and we have a side. It's RHS. See, SAS, they like to trick you with the SAS. So triangle ABC is congruent to triangle TPK RHS. Nice. Okay, last one on this type of questioning. So for E, I'm just going to give you 1 minute and then we're going to move on. Oh, you're falling for my trap again. I hope that sounded as creepy as I intended it to sound.
It was, man.
Yes! Great, thank you. Success. You've just walked right into my trap. While it looks like this triangle is a side angle, because I have two angles on one side, it is not. Can someone tell me what's happening? Lorato?
Ma'am,
Hi. Have you
how are
unmuted?
you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good, ma'am.
Are you going to tell us the answer here?
Yo, ma'am, this is so tricky.
I know. I made a horrible trap for you.
Yeah, I'm still trying to figure, but I'm dead close.
Okay.
Yeah.
So guys, this question, the reason it's a trap is because I wanted you to say SAA, but it's not. And the reason it's not SAA is because the line is not in the same place. Do you see how this line is between those two angles? And so its corresponding line would be AC, and that's not where my line is. And so these are not congruent. I can't use any one of my reasons. That was my trick. That was my trap. And the whole reason here is because those lines aren't in the same place as each other. And this is another place that they like to trick you. So questions like D and E are purposefully made to try and get you to fall into the trap. So we're doing them together now so that you don't fall into that trap later. Okay, so the only way that these would be congruent is if I had those two little lines on AC. Okay, let's have a look at a proof. Sorry, for those of you who are still here, I need to scroll down. So if you're needing to, you might want to take a picture of the screen or a screenshot if you're on your phone. Okay, so the thing is, triangles can only be congruent if I can prove one of these four reasons. If I can't prove one of those four reasons, then I can't say that they are congruent. They might be congruent, but I don't have any proof. And so I have to show one of those four reasons. All of the others were congruent, but this one was not congruent. But we'll get there. Don't panic. We have some time and we'll pick up with congruency on Monday. Okay, so we are going to do a congruency proof. So we're going to now try and prove that these triangles are congruent. I'm going to help you with this first one, and then I'm going to let you try and work through the second one. Okay, the first thing that we want to do, if the angle is included, if it's not in the middle of the two lines, then it wouldn't be congruent, yes. Okay, so like if I had a triangle like this, and I had that angle, and I said it was that angle, and then I had a triangle like this, and my angle was there, then those would not be congruent because they're not in the same place. Even if this angle was here, and so they are in the same place, just because it's not in between the lines, it's not congruent. Okay. Okay, so let's have a look at this proof. Now, when we're talking about congruency proofs, the first thing we want to do is identify which triangles we're trying to prove. So this is when getting a pencil, like a colored pencil or a highlight or something that we can see a difference with, even if it's the difference between a blue pen and a black pen or a pencil and a blue pen, all of that helps you see the difference. So the first thing we would look at here is we're looking at this triangle. So BCD. And our other triangle that we're looking at is ABD. Okay, so the first thing we want to do is identify our triangles. The second thing we want to do is write out a sentence to say which triangles we're working in. So in triangle, and we want to do it the same way we do congruency, so we want to match things up. If I did ABD, I would say and. So in triangle ABD and triangle, now the same angle as A would be C and B and then D. Okay, so our first step is identifying our two triangles and stating which ones they are. Then we have to give 3 reasons, so 3 steps. So I like to just write 1, 2, 3, but you don't have to. This is just so that I remember, I know I have to give 3 reasons to prove it. And the reason we have to give 3 reasons is because all of the proofs of congruency are 3 letters. See, so either I have to prove each one of those things in order to prove one. Now in here, we can see that line AD is the same as line DC. So we can say line AD is equal to DC, and that has been given to us. We don't need to say anything more, we just know that they are the same. We also know that line BC is the same because it's on both triangles. So we would say line BD is common. And when we say it's common, it's just meaning it's in both triangles. That's all that means. Okay, so at the moment we have a side and we have another side. Then I know that if that's 90 degrees and this is a straight line, then this must also be 90 degrees because of angles on a straight line. So I can say angle CDB equals 90 degrees because of angles on a straight line. This is when our geometry comes in, and that is an angle. Okay, so then we then we look at our reason where we have 2 sides and an angle, and we double check that that angle is in the middle, and it is. It's wedged in between my 2 sides. So then I can say, therefore, triangle ABD is congruent to triangle CBD because of SAS. It's a lot of work, but it's worth a lot of marks. So that is how we do a congruency proof. First step, we say which triangles we're working with, we identify them, we give our 3 reasons to prove one of these 4 things, and then we say that they are congruent and we give the reason. Okay, time to shine. Give B a try for me. I promise you it's a bit easier than the one I just did. I wouldn't do that to you. So always start with your first step. Your first step should be nice and easy. Identify your triangles. That one you should be fine with. There are 2 things, reason 1 and reason 2, I know you can give me easily. Reason 3, you have to think about it a little bit. I'm just going to slowly start putting answers in here so that you can check that you're right as you go along. Okay, who can give me one easy thing that you can see is the same as each other? Just one thing. So what is equal to what? See, is that a new hand?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, Carl, you giving me my answer.
Yes, ma'am. I want to give you an answer, ma'am.
I'm so excited. Tell me what's the same as each other.
Ma'am, I think it's RS equal to PQ.
Okay, we don't know that one. So that one hasn't been told to us. It is equal. So you are right, but we can't say it as a reason because it hasn't been given.
Okay, ma'am.
Only because they haven't given us lines on that line. Otherwise, but what you're saying is right. It's just, yeah. So you see these lines, they tell us which lines are the same. Piwe? No? Okay, so we have an answer in our comments here. Definitely, that's absolutely right. So RT is equal to TQ. See, they both have that double line, and we can just say that that's been given to us. And then we could say, because these have single lines, see those two? So we could say that ST is equal to TP, and that's also been given to us. Now, those were our two easy ones. Now we have to find one tough one. Lots of different things we could have thought of. The easiest one, though, is if you see, you've got a bow tie. And when we have a bow tie, we have vertically opposite angles. And so angle RTS is equal to angle PTS because of vert op angles. So angle T isn't common only because it's not in both triangles. So if I had something like, oh, it's difficult. It's more often in similarity that happens, but I'll see if I can find an example for our next lesson. But they're vertically opposite, so we know that they're equal. So what we have here is we have a side, and an angle. We're just going to double check. Our angle is definitely wedged between our two sides. So then we can say triangle RTS is congruent to triangle QTP because of side angle side. Okay. I know I have thrown a lot of information your way this evening, and you have done really, really well, especially for being end of term. And that is where I'm going to call it quits and pass on to Tula. Don't panic if you it's okay. Remember, I don't mind if you make mistakes. I'm excited when people try and answer. Also, mistakes are our way of learning. They're good. Okay. Have a lovely evening, everyone. I think you are muted, Tula.
Oh, and yeah, I'm going on and on and on. Hello, grade nines. ICCA is asking for one more, but shame, I don't think we have enough time. Yeah, I don't think we have enough time, Sia. So maybe you can rewatch the video and try to find more content on the app, and just yeah. I don't think we have enough time at the moment. But remember, we do have more lessons still on geometry next week. So on Monday and Wednesday. So I think that's what's going to cover us. But I hope everyone's doing okay. I know a lot of you are done with your tests, and a lot of you are also still writing. So it's a bit of both. How are you guys feeling? Just give me a thumbs up just to let me know that you're okay, you're here. Are you still coping? That's good. I'm seeing a lot of thumbs up. If you're watching on the live stream, also just give us a thumbs up. It's important for us to know that you guys are okay. Do you see that here? The teacher's saying that on Monday we'll do more of these. So for any of you guys who still feel like you still need more example with proving congruency, we'll have more examples on next week's lesson. Nolwazi is tired, very understandable. Nogubonga is much more energetic. That's good to see. I'm just going to quickly share my screen. You guys can keep coming with the lessons. I want to see how you guys are doing. Let me just quickly make this bigger. If you can't see my screen as always, just let us know in the chat and we can see how we sort that out. Let me just jump to this quickly. So for those who are new to Watobe, I'm seeing a couple of new names. So we do a thing every week that we call the leaderboard. This is basically where we just put the names of the people who have done the most activities on the app. Remember, we have the Watobe app in addition to the live lessons. And these are our superstars for the week. These are the 5 people who did the most activities. Chelsea coming in strong, same as last week. Alexis, Kulegani, Tinashe, Ozoma, Simiso, you guys are awesome. Keep pushing. This shows us that you're putting on effort on your side as well. So I hope to see more names next week. And of course, there are more of you guys doing activities, but we just need to do the 5. So if you are attending these and you're doing activities and you don't see your name here, don't be discouraged. Keep doing that, and one of these days it will appear. So congratulations to all of you guys. Just keep putting in the effort. And then just to show you guys the lesson plan, we've actually pushed so much. We have 2 more lessons to go, which is very, very impressive. It's very impressive. We have just 2 more lessons to go to cover similarity and quadrilaterals. Is this accurate, Ms. G? Is this still okay?
Sorry, I'm on mute. Yeah. We're gonna do a little bit of congruency before moving into similarity, but yeah.
Okay, yeah, so this is still accurate. So guys, make sure that you come back. You make sure that you come back next week and you follow the lessons. If you just joined us today and you just joined Watobe recently and you were not able to see or be able to attend these lessons that have passed, you can always go to watobe.co.za. You'll be able to go to live streams and you'll be able to find the lessons that have passed. So make sure that you do that so that you follow properly what's happening and do the quizzes. And yeah, make sure that you're just with us the whole time. So I think, okay, let me just see before I let you guys go if anyone has any questions. Do you guys have any questions? Just any comment, anything you would like for us to answer for you? Not a maths question, obviously, just something on your mind. Okay. No, if you guys are good, we'll see you on Monday. Enjoy the long weekend. Enjoy the Heritage Day. Make sure that you have fun, do some work, and also relax. We'll see you all on Monday. Bye. Bye, everyone.